As a beauty professional, we are in the business of personal care, but I believe one thing that is important to remember is that it's never personal. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Sydney. I am a hairstylist of over 11 years, 8 years professionally, and this is Sitting Pretty Pro. This is a platform that I have created for fellow beauty professionals to teach you all how to grow your profits, grow your pockets, and fall back in love with what you do. The majority of the content that I will create here on this platform and have created in the past, I'm kind of revamping the channel a little bit in my overall approach. But the majority of the content that will be created is targeted to beauty professionals that are slightly more seasoned. But for those of you all who have the tenacity and you're ready to come into the industry swinging, maybe you feel that the training you received in school, especially when it comes to the business aspect of the beauty business, needs a little bit more advancement or a lot of advancement, then this is the platform for you. My goal ultimately is to compile all of the information I have learned in this industry over the past 11 years through investing in courses, traveling to classes, day-to-day experiences with my clients, client feedback, enlightenment, personal enlightenment, also formal training, list goes on, to give you all the real aspect of working in the industry, especially if you're a hairstylist, working behind the chair. Because the reality is, even the best beauty school can only cram in so much information into the 7, 9, 12, or 21 months that you are there, either on a part-time or full-time basis. There's so much left to be discovered once you clock out for the last time that historically only actually diving in heads first would give you. But my goal for the baby stylists who come into the industry, irrespective of age, but any of you who are new to the industry, my goal with this platform is to save you all the hours and hours and the confusion and the stress of having to figure all of this information out on your own. I also want to make it clear that while I will create some content that is geared towards self-employment, because ultimately we have to master employing ourselves, master managing ourselves in order to get to the point where we can really dive into actual business management, where you are running a small scale business on a larger scale, right? So we're not huge corporations per se, but my goal is to get you all from a place of, yes, you may start as a self-employed booth renter, you're working for yourself, I work for myself, but ultimately my goal is to help you all shift from self-employment to true entrepreneurship, truly working on your business, not for your business, because there is a difference. I want to take you all from having to be chained to a salon chair in order to earn income to that becoming optional. I want to show you all how to diversify your income, how to scale your business in a sustainable and reasonable manner without all of the constant hiccups and setbacks. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then I invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel here. I'm also kind of reconstructing my mailing list right now. So you may notice that the email list and my websites all across the board are down right now. I'm in the process of giving them a little bit of a facelift. But what you can do is you can send me an email with your contact information. You can share with me your website. You can share with me what your specialty is. You can drop some of your questions in the comment section or in the email. And ultimately, you can also check out my platform on Patreon, the Sit and Pretty Academy, where it is a kind of combined but still separate online education platform for consumers on certain tiers as well as professionals on others, to help you all be equipped with what it is you need to know in order to succeed, not just in the technical aspect of the beauty industry hair wise, but in the business aspect as well. Okay. So I know you all may see the title and be a little bit confused. Like, okay, we're in the business of personal care, but it doesn't have to be personal. What exactly does that mean? What exactly does that mean, right? So, personal care businesses usually revolve around businesses that are created to provide personal services to individuals or groups. So, some examples of personal service businesses can be accountants, hairdressers, hairstylists, beauticians, cosmetologists, makeup artists, personal trainers, doulas, personal finance, people in personal finances, mobile mechanics, pet sitting, consultant. There are various different jobs and sectors within the industry. And so when we say when we talk about these services, the difference between our industries and other industries is that oftentimes we are delivering services rather than actual tangible goods. So a lot of the times people are hiring us to save time, sometimes depending on what your business is, save them money. Maybe they are paying for us to, for them to tap into a skill set that either they don't possess themselves, or maybe they may not be interested in expending the energy at the time to get the results from that skill set. Personal services, for the most part, are like expenditures. These are things that a lot of the times are not absolute necessities, right? We as Americans, if you are tuning in from America, or even if you're coming from another Western nation, a lot of us are accustomed to a service-based lifestyle. For example, when my great-grandparents were still on this earth, for a large portion of their lives, they did not rely on grocery stores to get their needs met. They did not rely on, the dry cleaners. They didn't rely on laundromats or people who washed their clothes for them. Although some of my ancestors actually had businesses washing clothes for others. They did not. Oftentimes, a lot of the times, they built their own furniture. Bring this up to say that decades ago, right here on American soil, people were a lot more self-sufficient and self-sustaining. A lot of the times, people carried multiple skills. They had multiple hats. A lot of women could cook, they could sew, they could garden, they could do multiple different things because that is the way in which they had to survive. So if you notice in today's economy, you have a lot of people, upset and outraged at the price of food in grocery stores. But the reality is a lot of us don't realize that grocery stores are a luxury that we have grown accustomed to. At this time, although I would say we're starting to go back a little bit, we haven't really experienced what it's like to live in an agricultural society. We live in a more industrialized society. And so for this reason, a lot of people, I think, have began to form a lot of belief systems around thinking that the service industry is a need or something they are entitled to. Most specifically, for myself, I could say I'm in the textured hair portion of the industry. And I think those of us within this sector, can understand just how true this is. You have a lot of, I would say, an overwhelming amount of women with textured hair who have gone a long time without understanding how to manage their hair. We also experience the transition from relaxed to natural. When I was entering in the beauty industry, this was at like the peak of the natural hair movement. And so I remember I didn't even want to learn how to do relaxers because at that time, no one was interested in relaxers. I didn't have a relaxer. And I didn't think it would be, at the time, I didn't think that it would be a skill worth having. But see, now I'm over 10 years in and I've watched the pendulum swing all the way back. So we also experienced, a newer crop of, in my grandparents' generation, they actually absolutely wore afros for a period of time. But the technology, the products, the techniques around hair care, period, but especially textured hair, have advanced so much that even those who may have worn their hair natural back in the day experienced a learning curve. So that adds a whole other layer in a sense of demand on hairstylists that particularly service that sector of the industry, the textured hair industry. But what I want you all to understand as we embark on this journey together, I am looking forward to helping you all succeed in your beauty business operations as business owners. That means I want to help you all set yourselves up in a way to where if for some reason you had to take an extended leave away from your business for a year, even if you don't want to be a salon owner with a storefront, I want you all to still be able to generate the same, if not more, income whilst stepping away from behind the chair. I think that is what is unique about what I'll be offering here on my platform versus some of the other platforms you may come across, because I noticed that as the economy shifts a little bit, I think more beauty professionals are looking for other ways to earn income. So you have a lot of people wanting to shift into the consulting aspect of the industry and the education aspect of the industry, which I think is beautiful. But it's important to make sure that you are tuning into those who can actually get you the result. And I can confidently say that with the information I'm presenting to you all, as long as you are able to implement it at the right time for you, and as soon as you can, you will see results. But it's important to understand that while we are in the personal care business, it does not have to be personal. Now, if you notice, I chose my words carefully. Then I did not say it shouldn't be personal. I said it does not have to be, right? The reason I say this is because as we go on through life, our beauty businesses are built around relationships, right? More so than other businesses. All businesses ultimately come down to relationships. All trades ultimately come down to relationships. But when you are not just trading goods, but you are trading time, energy, it becomes even more relevant, right? And so as we go on and as we grow in the industry, we begin to acquire so many different clients at different points in times in our lives and different points in times in our clients' lives, right? And so I have some clients who have been with me I actually have clients who I've had for 10 years. I have some clients who I've had for the last 6 years. And these are women who I met at a completely different point in my career. So my relationship with them is usually going to be reflective of the time that we have spent together. Some of my clients, we have relationships outside of the salon, and that is a separate experience versus as I went on throughout the industry and as I matured as a person and as I developed as a professional, my relations and the way that I relate to newer clients is going to look much different because I have a enlightened perspective and approach to my business and my craft. Over the years, I have shifted and am still making the shift because ultimately there are seasons in business. And while I have paid for information, I've had mentors, the reality is I have had to figure the majority of things out on my own. So as a result, there have been seasons where I've had to kind of go back to the drawing board instead of being able to hit the ground running. And ultimately, that is my goal for creating this platform, is because I want y'all to be able to hit the ground running. But going back to what I was saying, you start to transition at a point in your business where some of y'all are at different points. I'm assuming the majority of you all are like freelance hairstylists, right? Where you are self-employed, you are your business. Assuming that is the case, my goal for you all is to shift from being your business to being maybe the face of or the spokesperson on behalf of your business, right? So, for example, we can look at this with a lot of celebrities. We can look at this with examples such as Beyonce with Sacred or Rihanna with Fenty. I don't think a lot of us realize how hands-off a lot of these celebrities are when it comes to the things they put in the marketplace. It's not to say they're not involved in the creative process, but it is to say that they do not have to physically work within those businesses in order to profit off of them. They have the choice because of the fact that these are actual entities they've created. These are actual organizations that they've created. These are actual organizations. Even if they didn't create it, somebody might have came to them and presented the idea and just used them as the spokespeople, or part owners of it, but the face. But that is ultimately how you have businesses such as Schwarzkopf and Vidal Sassoon and all of the other businesses within the industry that are able to almost become family heirlooms. One of my favorite brands, I don't want to say favorite, but one of the brands I do admire and I have carried before, Davines is a company out of Italy that is family owned, this is what they say at least. And that is an example of being able to create a larger scale operation to where even beyond the first generation of creating that product, or Paul Mitchell has their salons and different things, regardless of it being first generation, they have organized and structured those businesses as their own entities so they can be passed on through literal generations, or they can be acquired by other entities or another owner, or you have the opportunity to bring other people in and scale. And see, that is the difference between what it is that I am wanting to teach you all versus what I think is kind of the common narrative or the standard in the industry, especially in the textured hair business. And the reason I bring that up is because we see all of these conversations all day and every day in between the stylists and the consumers. You have the consumers expressing how they feel about different policies or different things they've experienced. And then you have certain professionals who are also coming at the consumer. And in reality, when you get to a place when you realize, while we are in the personal care business, it should never be personal. You ultimately should not have these issues. I have clients in my business who it is very much personal. When I experienced homelessness earlier this year, and I talk about this on, my main channel, it wasn't a income issue per se, as far as like if you listen to my story, y'all, I've been on a little bit of a pretty large hiatus from taking clients full time. And when entering back into the industry, I experienced some unfortunate personal events that kind of threw me off track a little bit, right? But when I experienced homelessness for that period of time, it was actually some of my clients, especially one of my clients, who helped me throughout that experience. And so it's not to say that everything has to be about business all the time, but it is to say that for the most part, if you desire to actually create a business rather than create employment for yourself, there's nothing wrong with being self-employed. But if you are looking to advance within this industry, if you are looking to grow your bottom line, if you are looking to expand your reach and leave an impact on your local community by being able to employ people, being able to be charitable, the list goes on. This is what you have to learn to adjust to, is the realization that this is greater than just you. So I want to give you all an example of a conversation that I was engaging in on Threads which this is my newfound guilty pleasure right now. Not literally guilty, but I'm enjoying Threads. I am enjoying the organic traffic. I'm enjoying the interaction. Like, this is what social media was before all of these rigorous changes they've made to these algorithms lately, to where they want the popular to get more popular, and if your page ain't growing, it's hard to grow it. I like that Threads, as TikTok has been described to me. I haven't experienced this on TikTok yet, but it's just such a fresh platform that there's a lot of growth. And I think that right now would be a good idea to get in on it. I remember my client, Tanya. This was one of my phenomenal clients, y'all. Everyone wants a Tanya. We're going to be talking more about this in the Sit and Pretty Academy, building your client archetypes and profiles in order to learn how to become better at attracting the right clients to you that are in alignment with your business goals. But Tanya is like the creme de la creme client. I can't wait to tell you all about her. And I've experienced many of those and still have them. But she was telling me back in 2018, 2017 to get on TikTok. And I just didn't care to. And I wonder what I would have been able to achieve had I actually had listened. You got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, whatever. You have to know what season you're in. And Threads is a place that I would be in if I was a professional of any kind. This is an example of, and this is no disrespect to this individual who posted it. I actually think they brought up a lot of good points. And this was something, yes, I learned through my own experience in the industry and just trial and error, learning what I didn't like, learning what I liked, maturing. I remember one of my clients kind of pointed this out to me, and it was game changing. But this is an example to me here of not understanding that while we are in the business of personal care, it should never be personal, right? So this individual says, y'all, honestly, us stylists and barbers are tired. We're squeezing in, we're not eating, and trying to get everyone in. It's not our fault that some clients take longer than we anticipated. Some clients are late. Some clients have more hair than we anticipate. And honestly, we are trying to squeeze in people that didn't book at all because we hate saying no. We book, then maybe we got burnt out along the way. Have some grace, please. We staying up late and sacrificing times with kids and all. Word for today is grace. So I responded, because my goal is to take y'all from a state of feeling like things are happening to you and making sure that things are happening for you, right? Personal responsibility is a major tool for empowerment in order to improve the situation around you. So I gave my opinion. I asked, can I offer my unwarranted opinion? While I totally understand where you're coming from, because I've been there before, I would say that if these are recurring challenges you are facing within your operation, then it is not the fault of your clients. It really sounds more like symptoms of a lack of systems. Structuring your business will help eliminate the majority, if not all, of these problems for you and take some of that pressure off in the process. So she responded, definitely appreciate the feedback, but this wasn't that type of post. This was in general. There are definitely more levels to the issue, and plenty of other stylists agree. Never want to blame the clients. We simply ask for grace. Understand, sometimes structure doesn't solve the issue. You can have the most structure in your business and things can still happen. I think a lot of people operate in like hypotheticals. I am speaking from someone who has actually been able to eliminate these issues within my business, right? So I'm not, oh, you can have all the structure and it's still things can still happen. Like, I've actually successfully been able to eliminate these things. I can't remember the last time I had a client who was late, outside of maybe 2 minutes over my grace period. And for the most part, I don't trip about my clients being late unless for some reason it runs into the next client's time and I have to make schedule adjustments. Other than that, it's not a big deal to me. I communicate with my clients, they communicate with me, but I don't deal with people coming excessively late to appointments. I no longer have the issue of feeling like I'm forced to squeeze people in, or feeling like I have to get everyone in, or, clients having more hair than I think, or not eating, or these are issues I don't experience. And I'm being real, because I switched from the standpoint of having a job that I've created for myself to being a business owner. For this reason, y'all, I think that a lot of people should consider if business ownership or self-employment is what are the costs and what are the benefits to actually taking these challenges on. Simply finding a salon to work in with good management, good ownership could eliminate the majority, if not all, of these problems for you if you are not interested in structuring your business for yourself, right? Because if we look at other sectors of the industry, I've worked in multicultural salons, I've worked in commissions. Believe it or not, though, I've never been a commission stylist. I'm going to be honest with you. I've always been a booth renter, but I've worked in hybrid salons where they were multicultural and booth rent and or commission or hourly. I've worked in suites, I would say, for the majority of my career. I've also worked in like traditional black hair salons. Like, I've seen a lot, and it is absolutely possible to be able to just, if you are somebody who wants to, as y'all say, do hair, if you are somebody who just do hair, it is possible to just do hair and be successful and not have all of these issues if you are simply willing to partner with a salon that will handle the booking for you, handle the time for you, handle all of these different issues for you, putting policy into place, training, education. These things are possible. But I think where the challenges come in is, yes, I do think you have a lack of quality salons that are offering that in the texture hair industry, because for the most part, you have a lot of salons that are strictly for booth rent. And you have a lot of stylists who only want a booth rent. They don't see the value in being a commission or hourly stylist because they're thinking about their earning potential. Well, I could make more money doing this and I could have my own clients. But think about all of the time you sacrifice through not being able to properly organize yourself, right? So you have to learn to weigh the cost. If you're someone who does not want to deal with the burden of business ownership, then I think it could be wise to simply partner with a salon that takes care of that issue for you. Now, for those of you who want to fully embrace the responsibility of the extra responsibilities that accompany business ownership, and yes, you will experience a increased bottom line, but it also, the stakes are higher. There's more that you have to consider, and there's going to be more that's expected from you. This is the place for you. So I just want to quickly take a look at her page. I am not, this is just me giving my opinion at first glance, because the comment was, you could have all of the, sometimes structure doesn't solve the issue. You can have the most structure in your business and things can still happen. So we have to really take a look at ourselves and what we have going on. Upon looking at her page, it appears that it's possible she could be doing offering services in her kitchen. Many of us have started from doing hair at home. I don't think there is anything wrong with it, but as she stated, there are levels to this. I could offer the same critique to hairstylists who actually are working from salons and still don't have structure, right? I'm not only offering this critique because she lives at home, but I think that adds another layer to the issue. This is not what I mean when I say structure. What I want to offer, if you're someone watching this and is a conversation that resonates with you, what I want to offer you is an opportunity to take steps back and say, instead of being on the defense, like, oh, well, this wasn't that type of pose, what I'm offering is an opportunity to take a step back and say, what are some things I could do to gain more control of the situation and structure my self-employment or my business in a way where I can prevent the majority of these things from taking place. That is what I had to do 7 years ago, and it paid off for me tremendously. The things that I was doing 7 years ago, people are just now catching up to. Examples of this is offering long-term hair plans, offering hair journeys. You know, everything's about the hair journey now, and the before and after now, and the healthy hair and all of this now. When I scroll down my Instagram page, this is something that I pioneered at actually almost a decade ago. In 2015 is when I began doing the hair journeys with my client, right? That is when I stepped aside from simply being a beauty professional that helped enhance my clients' looks, but I also took it a step further and made it to where I was able to help them attain long-term results. But see, in order for me to offer those transformations, what I had to do was I had to step aside from my business, and I had to learn how to analyze myself in a way where, and not just myself, right? When I say myself, I'm talking about my business operation, right? Because this is me going from a self-employed person at that time to going to a place where I'm operating a business and I'm able to hire individuals. I had 3 employees at the time in my salon suite. So I was able to make that transition from having to be the business itself to having a operation. And believe it or not, this Instagram page is actually my this is an older Instagram page, right? I'll get into my archives for you all at a later date. I had another person say, I thank you for trying to help. There's just too many reasons why a hairdresser runs late. We are not always in control of who books appointments for us. Clients are not always honest about their hair when they book in. Despite all my questions, I now work on my own after over 30 years of salons, and I control my bookings carefully, so I'm never ever late for my next client. I also won't charge them fees if they are late. I can allow wiggle room. So the reason I responded to this is because it went beyond simply being late. It just sounded like an overall challenge organizing as a whole, or creating something that run smoothly. Because the reality is, y'all, while there are going to be challenges that arise from business, this should be stress free, y'all. You should not constantly be feeling under pressure and stressed when running your beauty business. This should be something you are loving, your passion is growing for, you're able to maintain your passion, and you're also able to lift yourself out of whatever financial challenges you face. So I replied, respectfully. She pointed out not being able to eat, squeezing in as many clients as possible, etc. These are absolutely things that can be controlled and avoided. You can absolutely control who books an appointment with you. You can absolutely get ahead of being able to see what is going on with their hair ahead of time with the right systems in place. These are issues I had in my business over 6 years ago that I've not experienced since adapting systems. There are hairstylists who are self-employed / freelancers, and there are those in the hair business. What separates the two is systems and management. I would love to share more with the both of you. What I want to emphasize to you all, ladies, is that while we should all walk in grace and walk gracefully, this business does not need to be personal. I saw another post of a lady who is a beauty business coach for Lash Techs, and she was saying how her client decided to check out someone else, didn't like the results, and was inquiring. I don't know much about lashes, so I don't know how that works. I don't think she asked her for a lash map. She said a lash tape. She didn't like her tapes. I am not in the business of, lashes, so I don't know what lash tapes are. I don't know if lash tapes are literally the tapes that they apply, or if they are the lash maps that show the pattern. But ultimately, the person inquired and asked what kind of lash tapes I guess the artist used, and she said that she sent them over because she doesn't have to control who comes and goes to her business. And it was a whole thing. You have other people when it comes to talking about detangling fees. Oh, I'm not charging extra for detangling because I don't want my clients feeling bad about their hair. That's money hungry, or this, while we should operate with integrity, I notice a lot of people make these business issues moral issues. You are not obligated to share anything about your technique or your business operation with someone to appear like there's no animosity or bad blood. Our clients are free to come and go as they please, without a doubt. And, I find that the more my clients do so, it does make them appreciate me more. So I'm not pressed about it. In fact, I encourage my clients to have a small arsenal of various beauty professionals to have on hand, because there are services I don't offer. And as I get back to employing other people, I don't see them being offered in my salon but I don't know though. I don't know. There are things I don't offer, such as color. I don't offer braiding styles. Like, there are things that I don't offer that I encourage my clients to keep a few other professionals handy, that I try to help them approve of them so they can maintain the results. They ask me what to look for, and I have no problem walking them through that. I think that looks a lot different than sending the message that we have to share the specific information that we possess for our business with others. If you want to offer courses, or you want to offer tutorials online, or whatever you want to do, that's your prerogative. But what I want us to do as professionals, and the reason I'm creating this video, is to say, while we are in the personal care business, it does not have to be personal. You can thrive in this business. You can have great customer service. You can maintain and retain your clients without having to constantly bend your boundaries or become a people pleaser or a pick Misha hairstylist who, oh, I don't want to charge more for this because I don't want this person to feel bad and this is money hungry. We are in a neutral business. The beauty business is what you make it. Money is what you make it. It is not a moral issue. We can work with integrity without feeling like this is bad or this is good. I don't understand these conversations that arise. Well, I don't want to say I don't understand them because I've been here before. But I had to realize, y'all, that everyone does not possess the same beliefs as you. So just because you may have a certain relationship with money, that doesn't mean that every consumer possesses the same amount, the same belief systems around money as you do. So for example, you may feel that charging for this or charging for time or whatever is money hungry, but you have consumers who may see it as you simply charging for your time. Everyone doesn't look at things as though it's a good or bad issue. It just is. The majority of my clients, as I've shared with you all in the past, are professionals. So a lot of the women that I work with are in business themselves in some sort of way, or they're in managerial positions. So they understand my standpoint as a professional. When I went from booking all my clients, answering phone calls, braiding them down, washing them down, to hiring a assistant who specifically handled my administrative things such as social media management, answering the phone calls, I had to put that boundary in place. Like, you got to talk to Joanna. Joanna was my assistant at the time. Some people didn't like it. Other people respected it. But either way, it was what it was, because I couldn't tend to both my clients in the chair and that phone. That's how busy I was at the time. I also couldn't handle all of the demands that I was getting for my services and still be doing full service. I had to bring in my other assistant, Katarina at the time, who helped me shampoo and things like that. And at a time I had to let her go because she didn't work to the standard that I needed her to. But ultimately, I had my business set up to where I could keep hiring and keep firing. I could keep training. I could keep running people through my systems, because before I hired people, I had already been systemizing my business. So it wasn't too hard to integrate them into my business. It just was, you can't force people to do what you want them to do, but you can offer them the training to do so, if you get what I'm saying. And so at the end of the day, regardless of what my clients thought about me expanding my business, it wasn't about, it's not that I didn't value their feedback, but what mattered were my business goals. Was I going to sacrifice the quality of work that my clients were used to in order to expand my business? Absolutely not. I think that's where a lot of people and a lot of businesses go wrong. But was I going to get in the way of me getting back my quality of life and also expanding my profits and just getting aligned with my long-term goals for my business in order to please one client who felt they should have access to me after a certain time and be able to call me directly and not go through my assistant? No. Like, this is a business at the end of the day, y'all. And so my goal for you all is to take y'all from this, down and out, oh, I can't find clients, oh, I'm arguing with my clients all the time, oh, this client did this, to a place of empowerment where you can make a larger impact on your clients, your community, yourself. A lot of people conflate good customer service with bending boundaries. We've gone from one extreme to the next. You have a lot of people who are now putting an emphasis on customer service. I am the queen of customer service, y'all. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Was I always good at it? No, but it's something I've incorporated in my business for several years now. Before this whole shift, I had snack carts Well, I didn't have a cart. I had a table of snacks in my business 6 years ago with full-size water bottles. Everything people have been doing the last 2 years, I've been doing it. And I say that humbly. So when I say these things, it's not that I don't value my customers or value experience. I've been doing all that, y'all. But what I am saying is I know enough to say that being able to give your clients a phenomenal experience can be done without bending your boundaries as a professional. So this whole idea that, oh, we shouldn't charge for this and we shouldn't charge this, the clients need this, it's neutral. Charging for your time and your skill set, setting these goals for your business, whatever, these are neutral things. They're neither good nor bad. They're what you make it. We are in the personal care business, but it does not have to be personal. So if this video resonated with you, I just ask you all to consider giving me a subscription here on the channel. I also invite you all to join the Sit and Pretty Academy. By the time this video is uploaded, you will see within the next day or so a video within the academy. This is actually going to be one of my first launches on the professional tiers. There are several videos on the professional tiers right now, but they're all technical, meaning teaching you how to actually do techniques such as silk presses, shampoo, things like that. But the detangling fees class or workshop or just commentary, it's an hour-long video. That video is the first for this particular series that I'm rolling out. It is jam-packed with information. If you are wanting to learn how to start strategizing your price list in order to work for you and your clients, and you want to learn how to do so in a way that won't cause any problems, you're not going to have anybody blinking an eye, okay, make sure you get that class, y'all. Not only are we going to address the mindset aspect, but I'm going to show you all how to actually implement it in the right way, without RIP Frankie Beverly. I just saw that he passed away. Ooh, y'all, life is short. Don't be wasting time detangling for free, okay? Make sure y'all get in the Sit and Pretty Academy. You're going to find the video either on the let me just double check and brush up, because it's been a little bit long, right, since I've been on there. So you're going to find it. That's what I thought. You're going to find it on the Pro tier and the Pro Elite tiers. The difference between the two tiers is that on the Pro Elite tier, you actually get a monthly strategy call, right? So we're going to do an actual video consult where I will regularly help you create strategy within your business. The other tier, you get access to all of the classes for the professionals, as well as all of the other classes on the other tiers, which deal more with the technical aspect. So again, if you want to learn more about weaving, you want to learn more about braiding, silk pressing, washing hair, product knowledge, blow drying, hair cutting, just different things of that nature, right? So I hope that you all found this informative. Please let me know what you think down below. Again, make sure you enroll in the Sit and Pretty Academy, and also you can send me an email down below if you would like to remain in contact. Send me more information about your business. Share with me more information about if you had any questions or concerns or what it is you want to do in your business, and I will do my absolute best to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you all so much for listening. If you found this helpful, please give this video a like, and I will talk to you soon.